Hello everyone, Professor MoneyPigTrading, February 24, 2022. Very unfortunate date as the President Putin from Russia just invaded Ukraine and started the Ukraine war. A lot of people in Ukraine will suffer, but not only Ukrainian people will be the victims, but also a lot of Russian citizens who are against this war will also be the victim. Looking at the Russian Moscow stock market, dropped 55% within 2 days. So can you imagine all those Russian citizens lost? Most people will suffer from this war except President Putin and his inner circle. So I really hope this war will stop and most of the citizens on both sides, Russia and Ukraine, will be all right. But back to the financial market, let's see how the market will react to this Ukrainian war. So if you haven't liked this video, make sure to like it. It'll help our channel tremendously. We have a really good track record on Discord community. Feel free to check it out on www.moneypigtrading.com. So Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, MoneyPigTrading as well. Feel free to follow to get the latest investment contents and education. So wars are really hard to predict. Right now, just the first question is, will the war just limited to Ukraine itself, right? So if the war got split over to EU or any other nearby country or any other regions in the world, we're going to see more damage to the world economy, GDP worldwide being revised lower, and so does the financial market, stock market, and cryptocurrency market. However, if the war is limited to Ukraine itself, it could have multiple possibilities. Right now, the most likely situation, based on the U.S. intelligence official provided the information, Russia actually might just take the eastern side of the Ukraine, control the river, and control most of the access, and many maybe other side too, which is important port to Black Sea. So kind of control the Black Sea and stop Ukraine from pretty much cripple Ukraine economy, because it stopped the trade, right? Because a lot of trades actually follow the river to the Black Sea. So if all those ports or the river, especially on the south side of the river, got control, the Ukraine economy would just pretty much tumble. And they don't really need to take Ukraine's capital, Kiev, in the north, because as long as they control the south, control the river, control the Black Sea, Ukraine is pretty much down on economy-wise. However, they can also, the Russian army, Putin, can still attack Kiev, or even take most part of the Ukraine, which is a larger scale of war, which can take a way longer time. This is a huge country with 44 million people. So just a lot of things could happen. It's really hard to predict. And of course, we don't want this war to happen. Hopefully it will goes away. But right now, unfortunately, the thing just doesn't look like that. And also, what kind of sanctions will US and EU start to release, right? Right now, all the sanctions are around the Nord Stream natural gas pipes and some other officials in eastern Ukraine who are separatists, or some Russian officials. Would there be any more severe sanctions? Right now, President Biden from US has been very clear that he doesn't want to implement sanctions that will also hit European Union and US, which includes one of the very powerful sanctions, which is SWIFT payment system, blocking it from all the Russian capital using that system, so Russian money cannot join the international currency market, and that will have a bigger impact on the EU and US as well. So the more harsh the sanctions are, the more economic impact will be, and the more the US and the EU financial market will drop. And if the war is spilled over to other part of Europe's, where US is more trade to EU, then that can also bring down US economy a lot more than right now. Right now, Russia itself, the GDP is about one half of California and United States. So if Russia really got hit economy-wise, it doesn't really affect US that much. However, Ukraine actually produced quite a bit of natural gas, crude oil, quite a bit of wheat, and some nickels. All those are raw materials that can skyrocket while this war continue to go on. So we're definitely going to see way more inflation, and maybe Federal Reserve will hit the stock market and the crypto market with tighten the balance sheet faster than we expected to hold inflation. So there's just a lot of things going on that we just don't know the impact and really hard to predict, to be honest. And we just had to play by ears, looking at more data and see what will happen. However, looking at the chart itself, we can probably see what are the important technical levels. And like we said, if the war just limited to Ukraine, we're east side of Ukraine, and only Russian economy got hit really bad, I can foresee that the US economy is not going to be hit very hard. The GDP will still perform okay this year. And you can see the Q1 earnings so far in the US stock market has been doing tremendously well. A lot of US stock companies report record high earnings, record year 2022 annual guidance. So definitely very strong support fundamentally right now. And we can look at the SPY right now, weekly chart on the left. Right now, there's a 100-day EMA support on the weekly, 399.63. That will provide really, really strong support. And once we hit that, we can see the relatively strength index, RSI, which is the bottom over here, will hit around 30, which is start to get into the oversold level. So I do expect some technical bounce from there. But again, we have to see how the Ukrainian wars goes. If we get a lot worse, maybe SPY will go even lower. But I do expect SPY to start to have some resistance there. Kind of the same thing with QQQ 321 is the 100-day EMA. However, right now, as we're talking, the future market started and the pre-market started. QQQ actually is hitting that level already. So QQQ might break a little lower when SPY hit this 399.63. QQQ probably will test around 300 in that case when SPY hit the 399.63. And if you look at back the mega cap in the United States market, Apple right now has been holding most of the daily EMA support until yesterday started to break. This 50-day EMA now is testing 100-day EMA at 153.57. That level should provide a really strong support. That level breaks, we do have room to go down to 140 to 154 area. Again, record earning really good 2022 guidance. When the market started to bounce, we do expect Apple is going to bounce very, very hard. The same thing with Google. Record earning, stock splitting in July, raised the revenue guidance. Perfect PE ratio right now is around 2021, if I remember correctly. However, it has been selling now, fill the gap, pre-earning gaps at around 27.30. Now even break below all the 100-day, 200-day EMA. We do expect Google probably going to touch around 23.50 to 24.50 when SPY hit 399.63, the level we mentioned earlier. And if we hit that, we definitely think Google will be one of the best investment among the fan as well, the fan area. The other thing is Microsoft also record earnings raised at 2022. Sorry, it's really late here. Very tired. 2022 annual revenue guidance. However, right now it's breaking all the weekly EMA support. The only next EMA support is the 100-day weekly EMA support 254.4. We don't think we'll hit that. Probably is going to stop around 260 to 265, but we'll see how SPY and QQQ goes. The 7th largest market cap in the United States market is Taiwan Semi, which is one of the very important chip provider. Has been doing really well in the Q1 earnings as well. And however, right now it's breaking all the daily EMA support. This is the daily chart on the right, by the way, for Taiwan Semi TSM. Possibly going to retrace back to the low around 110 or 107. That has been the resistance for about the past 15 months. So we do expect that level to hold unless a lot of semiconductor and commodity raw file materials got blocked by this war, because a lot of them are produced from Ukraine. If that's the case, Taiwan Semi does say they have enough inventory for the short period of time. If the war got prolonged, maybe Taiwan Semi production will get affected, and therefore the fundamentally might help Taiwan Semi break below 107 resistance. We'll just have to see. The other thing, come to the cryptocurrency. Right now, Bitcoin on the weekly chart has a really strong support at 2,700. So that might be the area that I might test should the SPY actually dip down to around 399.5. Ethereum actually have a really strong resistance on a weekly chart around 1,500 to 1,800. So that's a level I might start to get into buy some Ethereum as well. Right now, we sold all the Ethereum around 2,700, our entry price. Take half of the profits around 4,000, which make about 40%, pretty nice last year. Come back to crude oil because this war will potentially, first of all, block a lot of production on the eastern Ukrainian side, and also when the sanction happen, Russia might not be able to release their crude oil, which they are one of the major crude oil producers in the world. So we do expect crude oil to push to 100 to 110 barrel per barrel. However, we have to look at Iran nuclear deal, which actually last week there has been news saying that the deal has been getting very close to finish. If that is the case, we can see the Iranian crude oil start released to the market and actually start to balance the supply and demand imbalance a little bit. And that potentially, once crude oil hit that, when the news come out, we can see crude oil start to top out and start to drop back down. And we really like one of the crude oil producer, for example, DVN. And here on the chart on the right side, we put out FAN. Because crude oil is so high, we do expect all those oil producer name will have really, really good stock price and continue to have share buyback, increase dividend, all the goodie stuff. So right now, we do expect FAN to hit 150 to 170 in the first half of this year, should the crude oil still hold above $90 per barrel. The next thing we have made many YouTube videos we like is the container shipping stock ZIM. It's going to have earning report in March and potentially going to have a massive dividend releasing. Right now, we do expect, because of the stock market selling off, ZIM might actually pull back on 60.33 key daily EMA support. The level doesn't hold, might pull back to $56, which is a 100-day daily EMA. Which should be a really strong support. And if we pull back that low, we actually might get more ZIM. We actually take some profits at 75, 70 already. So raise a lot of cash for us to buy the dip. So that's our target at ZIM right now. Still very bullish on the stock. The container shipping cost still all-time high, and a massive dividend coming out. Just right now being pulling back from the market. And we think that's going to be a great opportunity for us to add even more ZIM on this pullback. The last thing we just wanted to, actually there was a slide about dry bulk index. It's a bullish season coming out, the March is coming out. We're going to make a YouTube video more about this market, but basically you can see the Baltic dry index now start to curl back from the lows, since a lot of construction was starting in the North Hemisphere in March. The steel, iron demand will start coming up, and that's a traditional bullish season all the way to July. And because the Ukrainian war, a lot of raw materials from the Black Sea now will have to be rerouted, and that will just make or a lot of raw materials being exported to like US or European Union will have to get it from inside Ukraine, but some other places way further from Ukraine, and that will make the dry bulk shipping distance be a lot longer for each round, and that will make this dry bulk index skyrocket. So watch a lot of dry bulk, then we're gonna make another YouTube video to introduce it. So the attitude right now, the mindset for the stock market right now in the crypto markets, don't panic. Make sure to preserve enough cash. We have educated our Discord community members to raise cash in the past 2 weeks. So in my case, a long-term investment, I have 15% cash, have very, very well hedged positions that we're gonna introduce in the next video as well. And the other thing is, on top of those things, that to protect your assets, to set technical levels to limit by the high quality assets, like one of the few ones we mentioned, Apple, Google. And if you really have a hard time to choose high quality assets, we're here to help. MoneyPigTrading has a really decent track record, so we publish on our website and to Discord community on a weekly basis. This is our swing trading program, which is more option focused, but also has some stock swing trading. You can see the blue line is the winning rate, almost all above 50% across October 2021 all the way to December 2021. October 2020 to December 2021. You can see the average return per trade pretty much is all above 0%. So that means we're always making money in the past 14 months, starting 2020. And we also have a really decent track record on the stock long-term investments, 76 investment trades. And the average return per trade last year was 16.4 with a 75% winning rate. So again, if you're interested in Discord community, feel free to check out on www.moneypigtrading.com. Make sure to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.